Good afternoon, everybody. It's Cinner over at the seating shop. We thought we would try something different and something fun of doing a live of us discussing current design trends with designers and builders alike. And this is going to be our first episode ever. Thanks so much for joining, whoever's here and whoever's going to join later on. It's good to see you guys. Good afternoon. So I'm Jay, and I joined the company fairly recently. 24-year-old, loving what I'm doing, selling those chairs, making those beautiful chairs and spaces, and creating the spaces for designers' dreams to come true. We're going to have an amazing guest with us today, Micky Klein from Micky Klein Interiors, based out of Miami, Florida. An amazing creative designer, the top of the line, the best in the business. She'll be here soon, shortly. Hi to everyone who joined. I see we got some guests already. Hope I'm not boring you too much. And any comments, please feel free to drop them in the bottom, and we will try to respond and help out with any questions that you might have. So we will have Micky join shortly. In the meantime, I'm going to drink some water for a second. Just a little bit of information about the seating shop. It's a company that started about 20 years ago, creating chairs for all across the board, venues and amazing spaces like senior living centers, hotels, hospitality projects, and we strive to provide the best product at the most economical pricing in the market. So again, thank you guys for joining. And I think we have, I don't think she joined yet. We're gonna wait a few minutes. But yeah, as you guys can see, some cool chairs behind me. These are custom, we just customized this chair for a designer. We'll get more into it with Micky, hopefully, when she comes on. Like I have to get my IT guys. I don't run the Instagram live actually, so I have to get some IT guys to help us out to see where she is. So I see some comments. How's Yitzi Greenwald? How you doing? Design in Brooklyn. Good to see you. It's good to see everyone joining here. And I think she's coming on. Is Micky here? Micky? She has to request us, or? All right, it's connected.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Micky.
Hi.
Hey,
how are you?
How are you? Good afternoon.
Good.
I don't see you yet.
Can you see me?
There we go. Got it. How's everything?
What'd you say?
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can see you. I can hear you.
Amazing. Thank God. Okay, so good afternoon. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
And I was going to ask how the weather is in Miami, but the weather here is amazing. So
Wow.
how is it in Miami, though?
Actually, we had a really nice day up until about a half hour ago. Then it was pouring, and now it's gorgeous. Clear skies and beautiful. So
okay,
I'm not going to complain.
It would be pouring while we do the live, so there's no...
Exactly.
All right, cool. So I just started a little bit early, like 2 minutes early, and I was giving a little bit of an explanation of who I am, who the seating shop is, just a quick rundown. We manufacture seating across the board for all hospitality and banquet seating. And we want to hear about you, Micky. How did you start in the design industry, and where did you begin, and your story a little bit?
Okay, so a little bit about, I'm laughing at all these comments, a little bit about me.
Honestly,
I,
I don't really see the comments because the phone is a little bit further. But if you have
oh,
anything funny over there, let me know.
it's just people are just saying. It's good stuff. I grew up in Detroit where I started my company we were doing like helping friends decorating their houses and that kind of thing and dabbling in event planning. And um, I decided that before I would actually go to school for it, I would do an internship to see if it's something I really want. I already had two kids. Life was hectic, but during the internship, I like absolutely fell in love. I knew it was for sure totally up my alley, that I could do it. And I started school. I did an accelerated program online. It was pretty intense, having two kids going to school at night and being a full-time mom.
Wow.
Um, but that's what you do. And one thing led to another. I did a lot of multifamily and residential at first. And then we moved to Miami and we got bigger, more commercial, healthcare, that kind of thing. And here we are
Cool.
today.
Cool. And how many years was this?
Oh, this goes back already almost 11 years we're going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Listen, kudos to you. And
Thanks.
from the projects that I've seen, you can more than just do it. You're really great at it. And I love your designs. I love the projects that you're headlining. They're really cool, really elegant, really different, out of the
Thank you.
box, and really nice projects. So I have a little list of things that we were going to talk about. So
Okay.
first of all, design industry in general, like how do you see that, progressing from here on out? And we'll get to, the big bat in the room later, but just in general, like the design industry, do you see a lot of trends and changes in design regarding, what's cool these days and what's not and stuff like that?
Okay. So what I'm seeing for design purposes is materials that are classic, but also hold up when it comes to um, cleaning a lot and germs. Because now with COVID going on, anything people want to spend money on and install, even in their homes, they want to know that, they're keeping their germs away, but it's a classic design that can be carried out if they just want to switch one thing out. Because people aren't really doing full, I would say they're not doing, top to bottom right now, thinking, okay, I'll just redo it in a year. They're thinking what's going to last and be trendy along with time. Um,
Correct, because really it ties into, a lot of projects not being able to be done with COVID and everything. So
right,
I'm guessing people are not looking to do a lot of work down the line, but
correct.
that's really,
Or if
up
they
to,
want to do work, they just want to do like minimal, like switch out, a little handle or a cabinet color. They don't want to start gut renovating again in
right.
5 years from now because it's just out of style. Um, so that is what I'm seeing a lot, and that transfers in every single aspect of design, whether it's residential, commercial, healthcare. It all of those apply to every industry, basically. That's
Wow.
what we're seeing.
And regarding healthcare, like I was wondering about this because a lot of people are moving from the Northeast sort of to Miami area or Florida in general. Do you see a big change in construction or amount of, senior living centers needed or, the population, since the population seems to be growing?
Okay, so the answer is yes and no. The population that I see growing is the younger generation, I would say. That's who I hear is moving here. People with younger kids, people who want to, if there's any kind of quarantine, be able to send their kids in the backyard to play or swim
Right.
in the middle of January and February.
Absolutely.
So
Like
that is a big perk. So that's what
basically
we're
I should be
seeing.
moving down. My age group is moving.
Everyone should move down. We have plenty of room for everyone. But that is what I'm seeing all across, for anywhere from Hollywood, Boca, Miami Beach, Bell Harbor. That is sort of the age group, only because they want a better quality of lifestyle, I guess, if they were to be cooped up again. So that's what I'm seeing. Now, with senior living, they were always, popping up everywhere here in Florida, not just in Florida, across the US. So what I'm seeing more with healthcare design is they need durability and they need stuff that can be bleached and, you know, um, very sterile environments, but also warm and welcoming and, homey, I guess is the word.
So for those sitting at home who don't do design like you or cheers like us, what kind of material are we talking about? Is it usually like aluminum, faux wood, or like wiped down materials? I'm guessing. But what would be the go-to materials?
For the frames or the seats?
So let's say for the seats.
Okay, so for the actual seats, I personally like vinyl. It's not going to leak as much as even, treat any other fabric that's even treated or, it just holds up more. It's also easier to clean. It doesn't,
Right.
most vinyls don't have a lot of grooves and a lot of, areas for dirt, and a lot of other stuff that
It's pretty
gets
interesting that you
on.
mentioned that because we actually have these two chairs behind me, and
Okay.
like just gonna get up for a second. I really want to get more into the design side, but just since we're mentioning it, so for those people who don't really understand, who might not understand what we're saying, so you're saying like this is sort of a material that has ridges, really cool chair because we just customized it actually for a client of ours. It has the vinyl in the back with the different kind of material on here, which has the ridges. And then this one is more like the vinyl on the seat itself. So I guess that's what you were talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Like anything that is going to catch the most dirt and germs,
Correct.
is probably better to, it has to be bleachable, spill proof, all of that kind of stuff. So,
And these are aluminum though. Like this is aluminum chair, even though
so
I thought.
aluminum's easier because it's non-porous. So that's easier also to bleach down and clean than a wood frame, theoretically.
Wow. So you're saying that's where we're going with that. And once we're on the topic of COVID, I saw you had this awesome series of Ask Mickey, and I even asked you a couple questions back then. But asking Mickey, here's an important question that I have for you. Since COVID has got us quarantined and in our houses, sort of stuck, someone so creative with so many ideas being in the same area, how is that affecting a design process and how you come up take your creative ideas to the next level?
So in a negative way, it hasn't affected me because I think my brain just goes a lot faster than it should go. So I'm always 20 steps ahead in my own head. It's a little exhausting, but that's what we do. It hasn't really affected me personally. We're in the middle of jobs, so we're, different projects. We're still doing what we were doing before. The creative process, it's still going for us, thank God. So we're still being creative and obviously there's a little standstill when it comes to people in different industries don't know where, obviously the market's going to go and what's going to get really long-term affected. But right now, healthcare, we're okay. Residential is still okay. Multifamily is still okay. Trying to think. That's basically hospitality also is okay. They're opening back up. So we are still able to be creative and enjoy our design process.
Awesome. So I was actually at a hotel the other weekend, and you mentioned hospitality, so I'm gonna head into that. How
That's
does
also considered like restaurants, bars. Well, bars aren't
correct?
open here, maybe over there, but not over here.
So, no, you're not getting the short end of the stick. Trust me. New York is
We
pretty.
still have a curfew at 10 p.m. here.
Oh
So
my God, I take that back. Is that like? Do you know any guideline like until when that will go, or is that just as we
so
go?
we don't have any word of when that's gonna open up more unless someone wants to help the process and open it up. But right now, it's just Miami-Dade. It's not the whole entire Florida. So I guess if
Correct.
you're moving here, you might want to pick a
Keep that in
a place
mind.
that's open after 10 p.m.
Honestly, like I live in Rockland County in New York, so after 10 p.m. there's not much going on, but you still have the freedom of leaving, so it definitely adds to
Right.
the feeling of it. But regarding like hotels, like we were saying, hotels and hospitality, like I went to a hotel the other week in New York, and they made me, you had to wear masks in certain areas, and you had to reserve the pool area. Is that the same in Miami, or is that different?
Hmm. So it's not, you don't have to reserve at the pool here because the pools are open and most hotels here have more than one pool. And then we have the beaches, so you can walk onto the beach. There are rules and regulations regarding masks, what can be brought onto the beach, all of that kind of stuff. You know, each area, I guess, is different. But we don't have that. But you do have to wear masks inside. And in fact, here in Miami Beach, you have to wear a mask when you're walking down the street, even if you're not inside or in a group, you still have to wear a mask. That's the law right now.
Oh, wow. So
But room
basically,
service is open, you know, like that kind of stuff, and drinks at the
wow.
pool.
So basically, like a lot of hotels are, do you see the construction in the hotels, changing because of that, or hotels being afraid to open because they do have certain rules and regulations that will lower the occupancy rate?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I think hotels are eager to open back up and to service their customers. I don't know that that's affecting anything. I know that there's a lot of rules and regulations that they need to put in place, but I think, I think hotels and restaurants and bars, I think everyone's very eager to open back up and service as, close to what they were doing as before. Um, I don't know that that's an issue. I don't think people are
Right.
hesitant to open back up. I think it's the opposite, actually.
On the other hand, I mean, a lot of people have been opening up that I know in New York. I don't know about Miami, but a lot of people have been opening up like, backyard restaurants and bars, which, opens up a
In
lot of
people's backyards?
opportunities. Correct, yes. Like someone will
Oh,
take a backyard and turn it into, outdoor seating and all, and
wow.
it's a business opportunity. So, you got to take the positive from, in every situation. So
That
that's
I
what.
didn't know. Like here, there's a lot of streets, like down by Ocean. They blocked off where you can't drive. So all of the restaurants, because you can only do outdoor seating, all of the restaurants can service, outside in the actual streets. So they have them blocked off for cars, only pedestrians. Um, everything's open here with outdoor seating. And then they extended their amount of people outside as long as they have the footprint to put more tables and chairs.
Interesting.
So
I'm actually going to be in Miami, next month, hopefully, and I hope to enjoy that, to go check it out and,
it's
see
hot.
what's going on.
Make sure make sure they have a fan. Or you go after it gets dark, but then you have to be done by 10 p.m. So
I'll pack a
good
pair
luck.
of shorts, definitely. I mean, I don't, I know I've been to Miami and it gets really hot, but it's still Miami. I'm not going to complain about the heat. Regarding, back to design, I really wanted your opinion on like, speaking of chairs and seats, regarding, let's say, customizing your own design in a chair. What is something that you as a designer feel like is most important when it comes to, seating in general, and especially in, healthcare and senior living center and stuff like that?
So I would say durability is number one. Um, you know, anyone from any age with different needs, or medical needs or different weights, everyone has different needs. And the more durable the chair, whether it's the frame and the durability of the frame or the material that's chosen for the seat backing, it needs to hold up. The seat and the backing, sorry. It needs to hold up with, all across the board. So that's number one. Comfort, I would say, is also something like if a patient's sitting in the chair and they're not comfortable or their feet are dingling and they go to stand up and they can trip, there's a lot of different factors that go into it when it comes to healthcare. So those two, um, even though the first one is really a larger subject of what I consider durability as opposed to what other, designers consider durability, my personal opinion is, it has to hold up long term, but also hold the actual patient or person that's sitting in the
I mean,
chair.
it can't just survive and get by. It needs to be the
Correct.
exact
Like
same
no wobbly chair
throughout the term.
when someone goes to sit down, it has to also be able to be bleach cleanable. Like we're living in a certain era where it needs to actually be cleaned often, very, very often, and you can't really get by with, you know, not holding up to those
Yeah,
regulations. So,
someone who a little bit about myself, I was a little bit involved in on the other end of it in construction when it came
mhm.
to nursing homes. So I did witness that, and I understand what you're saying. And obviously, comfortability is also a huge part of it. Where obviously, older people, they they need more comfortability than what you and I or younger people might think is comfortable. Older people will, will need it more, and they tend to, sit a lot more than,
Right. Like it
than
can't start sinking in after only 10 people have sat in it. It has to really hold up. So durability is definitely number one. Um, and my own personal opinion is if I can't get a durable chair that is comfortable and then be able to customize it per my client's needs design wise, then it's just a no-go. Like it needs to have all three of those factors where I can custom design it to match my designs. Otherwise, there's no point in putting the chair there, but it also has to be durable and comfortable.
So speaking about matching the design, that's actually a really cool topic that I wanted to discuss, which was in the seating shop, we were really into creating the space that we're, working with a designer or a builder or end user or whoever it is. And we really, obviously, everyone who's building or a designer who's designing for someone, they have a certain design in mind that they're shooting for. A space should give the experience that they wanted to provide to the people being in there. So we really work, and sort of that's become our tagline. Like we create the space, the chair creates the space, or sort of brings the designer's dream, your vision, Mickey, to reality.
Right.
Like obviously a chair being in a room does, add a lot to the room. I mean, a lot to the room because
Right.
that's the one thing moving around the most in the room and creating, the most visual in the room. So, I mean,
But
obviously,
also for me, it's like a finishing touch. Like if the chair doesn't go, that's the first thing you're going to notice. First of all, because
absolutely.
it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. But also, it's like art on a wall. Like it needs to complement the space and it needs to complete the space. So chairs are actually more important than most people think.
Right. I mean, certain chairs that we made, like, obviously, like, you can see right here, these two chairs themselves, like, so much different things going on in there that, like,
Hmm.
you walk into a room, you'll see that sort of, like, right away when you come into
Right.
a room, and you'll see the, the look that it provides. So, speaking of I'm not trying to stay on COVID, but sort of, we are in COVID. So, with, regarding that, like, what is it, have you been working from home or in the office, or have you gone back to the office?
So we've been back in the office. It depends on the schedule of, you know, everyone who works here. So some have returned a few days a week, some have returned every day, and some have only returned one day a week. So it's really about everyone's comfort now, especially since in Miami we had our, I guess, second wave, but really it was our first wave. So I didn't want it to be where people aren't comfortable coming in, and taking transportation or whatever it may be. But now we're still up and running 100% capacity. It's just, what people's comfort levels are in the office, but we're mainly here every single day. So
Cool. And in the beginning of it, were you working from home at all, or
we're working from
I
home.
mean, nobody was coming into the office.
I, yeah, we were all working from home. I was coming in. I live close by, so it worked for me. It was convenient. Um, but yeah, everyone was really working from home and
So how does it work? Like, I'm
staying safe.
guessing when, a lot of designers have sort of like a library, that they work out of, all the material that they have in their library. Like when you're working from home, how do you access the library? Do you have like an online library, a resource library, or something like that?
Okay, so personally, I know that you can access everything online. I might be the one last person who actually likes to look at all of the samples and see them and compare them to all the other selections to make sure that the right shade is chosen. But everyone does it differently. I don't know how everyone else does it, but that's how we do it. So our library is nice and organized, and it's in the office. So when we need to access it, we are in the office accessing. But I do know that during the first few weeks when it first came out and it was actually considered dangerous, we took a lot of samples home. We took everything home that we needed to access, for those
Wow.
current projects. And then, now that we're basically back in the office, everything's still
So
here.
speaking of everyone else, and then speaking of Mickey Klein, what is how do you stay out of the box, stay different, stay trendy? Like, what does it entail?
It entails a few things. Number one is capturing what the client actually wants to achieve. So a lot of designers will hear what the client wants, but they don't really know how to give that over without it looking totally ridiculous, because what the client wants is totally ridiculous. So if you know how to take the client's wish list and bring it to fruition, knowing that you are tying all the pieces together properly in a proper design where they're going to be like, that's exactly what I wanted, but it really goes together instead of putting like pink and purple with like yellow and orange and mixing it all together. So it's about
Doesn't even
knowing
sound
how
it.
to bring their dream to reality, and just knowing how to give them exactly what they had hoped they were getting, but in the proper, way. So what I mean by the proper way, I mean, is it durable? Can it last? Does it meet all of the code regulations? Is this something that can go into the space that we're working in? All of that, taking into consideration, that's how we turn over.
Wow. And so basically you as a designer, you know the end story of a lot of times that you provided, certain products and they didn't have that. So you go the extra mile and you just, you give them the actual background of what really lasts and what's really comfortable, basically.
Right.
That's cool. Well, that's why Micky Klein is top of the line. But and no, I mean I've looked at a lot of the things that you posted, and I'm really amazed by it. I'm really inspired. There's a lot of cool design in it, like I said.
Thank you.
And we just really hope that you come out of this stronger, better, and you figure out your groove, in the right spot from all of this. A lot of people, have been obviously it's been hard on all of us, and a lot of industries have taken a big hit, and we're learning to adapt. We're learning to
You definitely have to know how to adapt and pivot towards each situation that's thrown at you. So
absolutely. I mean, out of Miami, it's probably easier. I'm kidding. Not with a curfew.
everyone thinks that, but we also have our hard months. Like, you guys don't have hurricane season.
So
In
how
fact,
was
we
the
were
hurricane?
supposed to get one today, which was our 30-minute rain, but
Oh, that's what the hurricane is all about? Then I'll
this one
take
was, thank
that.
God.
How was the hurricane
That
back what was it, 2 weeks ago, or Isaiah?
um
Did it hit?
uh
Did it hit hard at all?
no, it didn't really hit us. We had like a day of on and off rain. It was over a weekend, and that
Oh,
was
there
it.
was no damages.
Not here, could be, other areas in Florida, but not personally, not here.
Cool.
So,
Cool. So
yep.
that's that's what you gotta be thankful for. The good things like that that pass us by and become sort of not true or fake news. So it's good. Regarding, is there any questions that you have for me about seating, cheers? Anything? I mean, I just, like I said in the beginning, I joined 3 months
So when
ago.
I signed in, right. So when I signed in, I didn't get to hear how you got into it and
Okay,
everything.
so
So,
here we go. So I joined 3 months ago at the Seating Shop. The Seating Shop is a company that's been around for about 20 years, and it's been evolving over 20 years. From the basic banquet, whole cheers to more across the board hospitality, hotels, bars, restaurants, and then healthcare as well, which we opened up a separate entity called All Care Seating, providing specifically that. And from there, sort of, and then we grew and grew, thank God, and then COVID hit. So this is a time when we're all just taking a time to really learn our strengths and our weaknesses so we can better those weaknesses. And then I
right.
joined 3 months ago. Like I said, my timing has always been impeccable, and it's been amazing. It's been a great ride, and just learning about so many things that I never did cheers before. So it's just a learning process. And I am 24 years old. I grew up in an awesome place called Borough Park, which some of you might know about. A really cool place. And then I moved to Rockland County, so that's really cool too. Have you ever been around New York at all, or you just
Yeah.
Detroit, Miami?
No. I come there often for work, family, friends, that kind of thing. So I know New York. I know New York well, but I'm still one of those that uses a GPS when I go anywhere. So,
So one last
but I
question.
do it. I do it. It's good.
That's good. Listen, you got it. New York it can get tough with all I mean, Miami has traffic too. I've been there a couple times where I got
As
stuck
long
in
as I
some
have
traffic.
my own car and I'm not stuck in an Uber, I can't,
You're good.
yeah, I prefer to rent a car than to take Uber because it's
Cool.
just,
I mean, Uber, I mean, now are they doing anything regarding cleaning and disinfecting and stuff like that, or?
everyone should have hand sanitizer in their pocket anyway.
So one last question for you, Mickey, is
Mhm.
what inspires you to keep going and keep doing what you do, which is amazing, but what inspires you and gives you that extra drive to keep going?
What inspires me? That is a good question. First of all, my kids. I want to show them that no matter what, as long as you put your mind to it, you can achieve it. So, giving up is not an option when it does get hard. Life gets hard. So that is really what inspires me. And just knowing that, I'm putting beautiful designs into the world where people are so happy and feel at home, whether it's their home or a commercial space, I want everyone to feel happy and at home. So that's my way of
Wow. And I think
continuing.
a good line that you should know that I've heard in the past, which might inspire you as well, is never leave a place that you arrive to the same. Always change it. And in your case, you change it to way better. So good for you and
Thank
thank you so
you.
much. And I hope we get the opportunity to do this again sometime soon. And maybe in person in Miami when we all move down, you know?
Yes,
Uh,
everyone's welcome.
Absolutely, absolutely. We all
Okay.
look forward to that. Thank you
Sounds
so much,
good.
Mickey, and I wish you the
Thank you for
best
having me.
and have a wonderful, awesome week ahead of you.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.